everyone. Welcome back to another video. Now that Hannah and I both had a chance to share our stories and the way in which the Lord has called us to the Philippines, we wanted to take this video to be able to share about the Filipino people themselves, to give you guys a little bit of a glimpse into the background of the people group and then what we're seeing in the nation as Jesus is being presented. And Hannah grew up there. She, as you heard in her story, she was there for 14 years of her life and obviously moved back. But could you just give a little bit of a background of the Filipino people?
Yeah, I would say the Filipino people is probably the most resilient people that I've ever met, and I'm not being biased with that. And resilient and just like joyful people, and also the most hospitable people around the world. Do you agree?
Pretty dang hospitable, if I must say.
Yeah, I would say, and I think that's really one of the most like beautiful trait that Filipinos have, that resiliency that they have amidst like everything that they go through.
Whenever you say everything that they go through, could you give a little bit of a background of some of the things they have gone through?
Yeah, an example that I could think of is every year, there's always this typhoon that comes, and because of again poverty and poor infrastructure in the Philippines, oftentimes Filipino people, because they don't have option where they live, so they would just try their best to like put like patches on their house, even though they know that when the typhoon comes it'll probably break down again, but they would still like every single year they would do their best and just keep a smile on their face and still like try to like move on.
Yeah, I think one of the biggest reasons for this, and we've shared a little bit about this, is that all of the skilled workers that live there leave. So I mean, I'm thinking about America, like most of the skilled workers stay in America and help build their communities up. Because there's opportunity, there's good pay, there's a chance for them to make a good living and impact their community. But all of the skilled workers, or a lot of them, end up leaving the Philippines to get better pay and then send money back home.
Yeah.
But I think one really cool thing that we're starting to see, and I think in a future video we might even share this specifically, but we're starting to see a movement as Jesus enters back into the conversation and the kingdom of God enters the conversation. We're starting to see Filipinos turn their hearts to their own nation and be like, we need to take responsibility for this. And I think even some of the staff that we have on base, I think this is such an amazing example, because they're saying, we grew up in the tribes, we grew up without parents, we grew up in broken homes, we grew up with nothing, but we're willing to lay down our lives for the sake of this nation. And that's really the heart behind what we want to see. And we're seeing it in our staff, we're seeing it in the partners in the nation, we're seeing it even in foreign Filipinos that we've had a chance to talk to, where as we're sharing, like, hey, the Lord is doing something in the nation itself, people are opening up their eyes and being like, oh wait, we can't forget about the Philippines, we can't forget about our own nation, we can't forget about the people there, until we see infrastructure change, where they have housing that can withstand typhoons. They have where their roads aren't constantly flooding, where like every natural disaster isn't just completely wiping the floor like it is all the time. I mean, I just even think about like you said, houses, like building houses that can withstand, but there just isn't the infrastructure to do that right now. And yes, like that's one of our goals. We want to see, we say it all the time, we want to see poverty eliminated, we want to see corruption go away, we want to see broken homes made whole, we want to see the hopeless have hope. Like that's things we say over and over. And how that happens is by the Filipino individual coming alive into their identity in Jesus and knowing who they are, and then walking out the kingdom of God. I think that's a little bit what we're seeing.
Yeah, I totally agree. And even me as a Filipino, one thing that I also really admire with my fellow Filipinos is like how passionate we are. And if you've been in the Philippines or you see Filipinos, we're very passionate people. And I think that's just like even like with what you're saying, that because of the passion that we have, so when we believe about something, we really would we would go for it. And when we love something, we fight for it. And I'm just like thinking, like, imagine if the whole Filipinos actually like actually grasp the true meaning of like the gospel, the depth of the gospel, like what would happen.
Yeah.
Like, I think it's just like wild if that actually happens.
Yeah, I think that's a perfect spot to end, because our next video, we're going to be talking a little bit about the opportunity and like the things that are happening, the movements that are happening. But I think that's something we talk about often, is like what would happen.
Yeah.
Like what would happen. I think that's something we really want to convey to you guys, is our excitement of like, man, what would happen if every single Filipino had a chance to hear the gospel? What would happen if every single Filipino had a chance to live out their calling in Jesus? And so thank you guys for listening. We're so excited for the next video, and whatever the Lord has to share in that one. But we love you guys. Thank you for being on this journey with us. We'll see you in the next video.
See you.
Bye.